All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This disembodied pair of hands is Tom at goldspot.com, and we have a very special occasion today, which is National Notebook Day. We have a whole assortment of notebooks we're going to talk about today. I'm glad that you guys could come and join us, and I'm sure there's going to be some folks that are going to be coming in. I mean, they're just getting a notification right now saying that we're going live. So anybody who is our subscriber will get a notification on their phone, and we'll just wait for a few folks to come on in. But we're going to take a look at a few different types of notebooks that we have, some of our favorites that we provide on goldspot.com for National Notebook Day. And we're actually going to take a look. I did like a little presentation here. Hey, Jitan, how's it going? So, and Stefan, how's it going? So I got a little like National Notebook Day presentation that I wrote up. It's got a little outline here. It talks about some of the things you can do. I mean, because one of the more disappointing aspects of being a stationery or notebook and pen addict is when you have a whole assortment of notebooks like you have here, and you don't use them all. You use maybe like half of it. Let's say you flip this one open and you used a few different pages, but then, you know, it just ends up going unused and shoved in a drawer. And I don't like it because I'm more of a completionist. I can't help but finish things to the end, especially when it comes to notebooks, filling them all up. I've got a few of these. I've got a Rhodia, a Leuchtturm, and a Moleskine, and I've got them all completely filled. And trust me, that Moleskine was hard to get through to the very end. But this is the one I'm using for this year. This is a goal book, and put a little rickshaw bagwork sticker on the front there. I've got a few stickers in here too. But this is the one I'm using for this year, and it's my de facto bullet journal, which I'll talk a little bit more about that. But we let it go a couple of minutes, so let's go on with the presentation. So I'll just open up to my page of notes here. All right, so, problem is you love notebooks, but many go unused and neglected, abandoned. So we're going to figure out what's the best way to fill up all those notebooks and enjoy them to the fullest. So notebooks have a variety of different uses. Of course, they're just paper, and they just essentially just sit there to take your abuse as far as your inks and different pens, and you know it like you could use them for a variety of different purposes. Of course, people look at the blank screen and say, oh, well, I could of course use this for whatever purpose, but there's specific things that you could do with a notebook that just generate creativity and help you in useful parts of your life. So maybe I'll just zoom in on here. So for notebook uses, I kind of divided it into three lists, and one of them, of course, is lists. But when you think of a journal or notebook, you think of a long form, sort of dear diary sort of thing. I'm going to take out my, and this is the pen I used to write with this. This is a Sailor 1911 in the music nib is a 21 karat gold music nib Rialo. It's a piston filler. So just to kind of like show you my, to point out and talk what I'm discussing here. So your typical journal, you're thought of as Dear Diary, such and such happened on, day 56 of, 2018. And, I went out to lunch today and saw the new McDonald's, and I was able to order via touchscreen, which is really cool. So most people think of it that way, but that's not necessarily the way that most people would use notebooks nowadays. Another way is the 5-year. So you'd have like the Leuchtturm, which I did not take out, but Leuchtturm, this brand here, makes a dotted hardcover, which actually I could actually pick out because it is in this room, but I'm not going to leave the camera behind here. But they make a 5-year journal called Some Lines a Day, and in that journal it would be split so that each day of the year would have its own page, and it would be split in 5 sections. So it'd be 5 different years. So you'd be able to see on this day last year, I did, such and such. I went to McDonald's and used the touch screen to order my food and whatnot. And, so then you could kind of do it and be able to look back on it kind of like a time hop, or, Facebook has those memories nowadays. So in an analog version that you could save and not have your information be shared with people that you didn't intend to share it with, but that's a whole other topic. So there's the 5-year journal, or multiple years, whatever. But then you'd have morning pages. So morning pages is an idea where you kind of get started through the day. You would write some things that just are on your mind, maybe just as you're waking up, and it's part of a boot up sequence. A lot of people do it. Google it, and you could see there's even books on the subject, and a lot of successful people like using morning pages as a method to get out some of their anxieties, or some of the issues that they may be trying to work through, or just kind of get the day going, and get a bearing on what you'd like to do for the day to be successful, and feel like you had a successful day. Smoke break. I kind of wrote this because I actually did a journal like this, a long form journal, where I had a notebook. It was actually a spiral bound, similar to this reporter pad, but, of course, like a normal size, like an A5 size. And I had it shoved under the seat of my car. And what I would do is I would go out on a break, and I would just take out the notebook, take a pen, and then just start writing in it in the car. And, just as like a way to just, spend some time, and, fill up some of the time that I would just kind of be just wandering, meandering, and not doing anything really. So that's kind of a good way to just fill in the extra parts of your day that you could be writing and putting some more ink on paper. Gratitude journal is very popular these days, being thankful and really appreciating the little things. So even if it's just something very small, just like, I really appreciated the fact that my kids actually woke up early this morning and got ready on their own. That I'm just super thankful that I didn't have to yell at them. It's a great thing. Greeting card. That's something else that's kind of a little bit on the newer side, a little bit more of a boutique use of a journal. Is what you would do is you would, let's say, buy a smaller journal, maybe like this Clairefontaine journal, which is lined, and what you would do is, instead of giving greeting cards for each of, let's say Mother's Day, birthday, something like that, to your significant other, what you would do is maybe just write a few pages in this journal, date it, and then just give it to them. And then that way they could read it and they could keep it. And then for each occasion, you could keep taking it and then writing something new. Just something a little love note, or just a note of appreciation, note of thanks, and then just deliver it to the person, but then keep writing things in it. That way they have something that they could always keep. A travel journal, extremely popular and useful these days, because when you do traveling and you pick up like little pieces of, like, let's say the airplane ticket, or like these types of journals, like this Gold Book here has a little pocket where you could stash some things. So that would be pretty useful for like tickets, or little like memorabilia, like passports, or I don't know, stamps and things, so the things you would collect on your journeys. And then you could do like little sketches. You could do some sketch noting, or just like some urban sketches of landmarks, and write down your notes, or different places that you've been to kind of jog your memory and to keep a record of the trip. And then scrapbook too, because I mean, a lot of people these days, with how some of the journals and planning go, it kind of looks almost as if people are scrapbooking, because of all of the, let's say, the pages, the washi tape, the stamps, the huge amount of personalization and decorativeness that goes into some of these notebooks. And what's pretty good for those are the Filofax notebooks, which you actually could check out. There's a video on our channel that Jennifer Rufo and I went and looked through the Filofax notebook line, and this is the Impressions line, which has a lovely sort of embellishment on the cover where you could feel the textural difference where the white is. And these notebooks are completely modular and customizable, where they have pages that you could remove and place throughout the entire wire binding that's on the inside here. So you could, you can make this essentially your own with how you could do the scrapbooking or bullet journaling. You could move everything around and organize it. Same thing as with doing like a travel journal. You could just make it the way that you want. So lists are particularly useful in journals these days. Hey, Eric, how's it going, man? Um, so so journaling a lot of these times. Oop, something just maybe we just had some issue here with the feed with the live feed. Oh, maybe not, because my thing is frozen. My screen is frozen right now, but maybe it's still going. So but I'll keep going anyway. So lists are hugely popular. I mean, I'll just show you maybe like one of my lists that I have in here. Let's see. You could hear me, but yeah, you're frozen. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I could just restart it. Okay. Video is frozen, but audio is okay. All right, well, I mean, it's a video, so let's see. Maybe I could switch it this way. Oh, what's going on there? That is so weird, YouTube. I was just trying to see if I could somehow jar this loose and get this working again. But I am not having any luck so far. You might be able to hear me, but you can't see what's going on, so that's kind of pointless, right? All right, so I'm gonna shut this down and then restart it back up again. I think that would be the way to do things here. All right, let's see.